Alright, Fidget Spinners, welcome back to a brand new video. Today, boys, we are here, back on the home turf, back in the hometown on Aberration, and I figured it's only reasonable that I make a top 5 rat hole video, just because of how good the last rat hole video did. So I figured we'd do this, and since we're on Aberration, I wanted to plug the Twitch channel, because for subscribing to the Twitch channel, if you guys want to support your homie, you guys get the Abrat emote. I thought it was kind of cool. I had it made up the other day, and I figured it's probably suitable to plug that in this video. So Twitch link down below if you guys want to support the homie, appreciate it, and let's get into this video. Okay, so spot number 1, obviously I made a whole video about this spot. It's probably my most favorite rat hole on Aberration, and obviously it's this spot right here. So coordinates 52, 51, pretty much center of the map. Here it is on the map. Let's head up to entrance number 1. Now this spot, like I said, it's probably my favorite. I've done the most testing, the most building in this spot alone. I made a whole video on it. If you guys want to see that video and how to build in here, there'll be a link also down in the description below. You can go check that out. But this spot has 2 entrances, but it's really hard to raid. I wouldn't recommend any more than 2 people in this spot. You can get an indie, which is a plus. You can also get a transmitter. See if I can show you real quick. Now this is a build I was just messing around single player, but you can also get a transmitter in here too. So even if you have tech, this spot is still good. Now none of these spots are in any type of order. So whatever spot I show you next is not better than the spot I showed before or after. Same effect to every other spot I plan on showing you. Now I do not plan on showing any spots that lead to the mesh or that lead out of the map, aka the mesh, but I don't plan on showing any of those spots because I don't really count them as rat holes. I think those are more or less game errors that the devs made, and it's not a rat hole to me, so I'm not showing them. The last spot, here's your coordinates one more time. Here it is on the map one more time, and I'll hold it up for a couple more seconds for all the homies, but we'll head to spot number 2. Alright, boys, before we move on to another spot real quick, I want to say a big thank you to Pandemic Arc for sponsoring this video. Now, these boys are a new PvP cluster with a 10 times harvest rate, a 6-man tribe limit, a stacking mod, and an instant tame. Also, the imprinting on here is a single imprint for the fast PvP. They have an in-game shop, custom drops. They have every map, and they are ready for new players to kick in and join in. I heard there was also a couple content creators getting ready to play on this server, so if you guys are interested in this, their link for the Discord will be down in the description below. Give them a check and see if this is something you are interested in. Other than that, let's jump right back into the video. So spot number 2 is actually right next to spot number 1. The coordinates are right here, 51, 52. It's practically identical to the other one, but it is the opposite pillar. And if you come up through here, so actually let me give you some surrounding view because it's kind of a pain. So if you're looking at this angle right here, you are looking for the middle. Put my map away. You are looking for this middle pillar right here. This is where you're going to be looking for spot number 2. If you come down to here, come on up, and you can pretty much get yourself in a decent spot. You can get a lot of room in here. There is another entrance right here, but I mean it's still a decent spot. I mean it's not too bad. I mean you could get a decent amount of cliff plats in here. Obviously, you can take those cliff flats and go outwards with them. Chords one more time. Here it is on the map one more time. And then here is the pillar one more time on the outside, just for all the homies who need to get a surrounding area, because sometimes coordinates aren't good enough. Okay, number 3 is at 5132, and here it is also on the map, if you guys want to look where it is. This spot, obviously, I think this one is known pretty well, but this is still a good spot nonetheless. The amount of space you can get up here in this spot is kind of ridiculous, to be fair, and only having this entrance, you might think, oh Mark, this is a pretty big entrance, but in reality, look how high it is from the ground. It's pretty intense. To give us a whole area overlook to see where the spot is, if you come down here to where this little gas pump vein thing is right here, if you go straight up, you'll find it. Just look for this metal structure and go right behind it, and you're right in. Now, some people are probably wondering, how do you get foundations on this spot? You can't actually place them on the ground, so what you need to do is start with a cliff plat, and then you can work out the struggles from there. But yeah, you want to start with a cliff plat, get a foundation, and then proceed to get a ceiling, pillar down, and then voila, foundation support anywhere you want it to be. But yeah, this spot is pretty good, 5132, and also here one more time on the map, and then here is the downside of the entrance, and then here is the entryway. So it's right up there. It's a pretty pain to get in there and raid, which is why it's on this list. So. Okay, so number 4 is actually pretty close. It's at 5127. Here it is also on the map. If you guys need a better look on where this is, if you could go to Glowtail Cave and then go straight above it, right on the back, you'll see this metal structure right here. You can actually get inside of this. I think a lot of people probably know about this one also. I do believe you can see, or third-person C4 this spot. So this is not a good end game spot, but if you are stuck in the green zone and need to try to get something established, whether maybe it be like an MTS server or a fresh wipe server where there's just too much PvP going around and you need to settle somewhere to get something down, I'd recommend this spot. It's a one-way entrance spot. This rock right here can be mined, so this whole spot will be flat. But you can get a decent amount of stuff in here. I've seen some people build some crazy builds in here before. Personally, I've only built in here once, and I actually got mech'd through the side. So if you're going to build in here, I would not recommend keeping it for super long. Also, you have Glowtail Cave right over here to worry about. And I would imagine if there's a big tribe in Glowtail, they don't want some solo player sitting in there right above their base. So this spot is good, but I also do not recommend it for late game purposes. So now I wanted to say something. I know there are some rat holes on this side of the map, around 38 and 73. There are some rat holes around here that you guys can build into. Now they won't be on this video just because, for one, this spot of the map of Aberration, no matter what type of server you are playing on, whether it be an official, small tribes, MTS, or any other type of dedicated server, this spot on the map for Aberration has the most traffic. It's probably one of our Aberration's biggest traffic lanes for players. Now, the reason why I say that is because of the metal. The metal in this area is just so crazy. There's the least amount of bushes, least amount of trees, least amount of anything else besides for metal over here. So I highly recommend, for the rat holes that are over here, if you are playing single player, or you are playing by yourself, or maybe a group of 2, you stay away from these rat holes. I know some people put them in their videos still, but for personal preference and just 10,000 hours and almost 6,000 of them being on Aberration, I'd highly recommend not building in this area. Your base will not last that long, just because, like I said, the traffic here for metal is insane. The amount of TPs and transmitters, you run into too many people, and it's just not worth it in that area. Alright guys, so this next spot I'm about to show you, I don't even want to call it a spot, but I wanted to put it on the video because I understand that some people are starting out and they're looking for rat holes, and I wanted to put this in there because this is one of those spots you want to start out in. You don't want to stay here forever, but it is a good spot. So if you come up to 2758, and there's this little hole right here you can pretty much place in here. Now the reason why I like this spot for starting out is simply because you can place foundations in here without having to use a cliff plat. That's pretty big for someone that's just starting out. You know, not being able to have a cliff plat off a rip kind of saves you a bunch of materials, and being able to just place stuff here and burn stuff here. You could get an Indie Forge in here also. I've done a build before where the Indie Forge fits perfectly fine with everything else. The only issue, like I said, is it has a really large opening. It's super easy to raid, so I would not recommend staying here for long, but it is a good starter spot if you want to try to hide. Alright boys, for the last spot, on the number 5 spot, it will be at 2862. Here it is on the map, and here are some surroundings for all my homies who don't know how to use maps, just like me. This is pretty much the last spot on my list. These are the main spots that I always go to every time I think of Aberration Wipe. Don't get me wrong, there are many other spots. There's many little small rat holes, but this spot I wanted to include on the list because if you are looking for a small spot, and you are like a tribe of 3 or tribe of 4, I wanted to put some variety in the video, and I believe this is one of those spots. In this spot, I've gotten multiple Indie Forges before, anything from fabricators, a whole base. You have enough to breed in here. The only issue I have with this spot is it has this type of entranceway, which is also kind of good because you can get a lot of heavies. You can get a little death wall right here. You put your indies down below there. You can do a little bit of breeding up top here. It's very possible. It's very nice, and I've actually built in here before with a tribe of 3, and it works just fine. I think any more than 4 is too much for this spot, but I wanted to add it to the list to the homies that are looking for a spot, but also have a couple tribe mates and need some hiding assistance. Well boys, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and get ready for some NTS content coming out soon. Myself, Baller, and a couple other guys will be playing, and we're super excited to bring you guys some MTS Aberration content, as it is my most favorite map in the game. Also, once again, Twitch link down below if you guys want to become an Aberrat down there. Emotes, all the other kind of stuff, super fun, and live streams coming soon. We usually stream every other day, but since MTS is just wiping, if you're watching the time the video comes out, we will take a break so we can grind MTS on day 1. So, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.